Okay, so like every election cycle, we're all glued to the polls, right? Trying to figure out who's going to win, but then like we're often surprised by the actual results, especially with polarizing figures like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes you wonder if those polls are even worth looking at.
Right.
So that's what we're diving into today, figuring out like what really drives election outcomes, you know, beyond just the headlines.
Beyond the horse race coverage.
Exactly. We've got this fascinating discussion. They had Dr. Wendy Davis. She's a political scientist who almost flipped a Utah House seat.
Wow.
And Dr. U.S Perron. He's an international political consultant.
Interesting.
So they've both been, you know, really in the thick of campaigns, so their insights are super valuable.
Yeah, their hands-on experience, I think, would give us a really unique perspective.
Sure. So let's just start with this whole Trump factor in polling. So Wendy Davis pointed out that polling has been generally pretty accurate historically, except when Trump is on the ballot.
Interesting.
One example that comes to mind is like a 2016 poll in Wisconsin. That underestimated Trump's support by quite a bit. And analysts think this discrepancy was partly because of this thing called shy Trump voters.
Shy Trump voters.
Yeah, so like people who were hesitant to admit they supported him, maybe because of like social pressure or something.
That's a fascinating concept.
Yeah, and it highlights how like pollsters are always having to kind of refine their methods.
Right. They have to account for these like evolving dynamics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Louis Perron kind of takes a more skeptical stance.
Okay.
He argues that U.S. polls are often unreliable for predicting outcomes because of small sample sizes and like potentially biased data weighting.
So like, how much should we actually believe these polls?
Yeah, where does that leave us as voters?
Right.
Like, how much stock should we actually put in these polls?